throw that in. But let's change subjects here and let's hear from Amanda. I know you were able to get out some and do some metal detecting.
Yeah, yep, I got out metal detecting. Well, I tried to get out mudlarking, but I really didn't have a positive attitude about it because it was cold, really cold, and so playing on the water, I was just, as I put it to John, I'm like, I need to go get footage. And he's like, and I, to put it that way instead of, I can't wait to go find something, or that's usually how I am. So I did, I went to like three of my spots and honestly found nothing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
some
the
intact
jinx.
some intact bottles, but bottles I already had, and I'm like, yeah, I did. After I was leaving the second spot, I'm like, I totally just jinxed myself. Like
But
I
you did
should have.
find some intact bottles,
None that I
even though.
took. Things that I already had. There's
Well, you could always give them away. I mean,
no, no, not these ones. There's a
that's
stump. There's a stump, and usually anyone new I bring out to one of the spots, I leave all the intact bottles in the stump, and that way they get pretty well secured. The mud comes in, they don't seem to get broken. And anyone new I come out, I'm like, it seems to be the trading spot. So say I found a bottle I already have, I can leave it there, and other people that go down, they leave things that they find that they don't want there, and it works. So I left a bunch of bottles in the spot, but honestly didn't find anything. And yeah, the talking about how it gets dark soon. So no more detecting for me Monday through Fridays unless I have a day off. Because by the time I get out of work, it's dark and um, it's cold now. We went through a little bit of a heat up Thursday and Friday of last week, but then Saturday came and actually, Saturday was still somewhat good too, but I had chores to do and stuff I needed to get done. And um, so Sunday came around and I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit chilly. I think it was like 40, but I have enough fleece, I've got the fleece lined pants and this, that, and the other. And I was like, I'm going detecting. I'm going detecting. They did the final cut of all the hay fields and almost all of the crops are off. So I started at one of the spots I brought you, which was kind of near the pond. And then I worked the entire cornfield and then the hay field. And then when you go up over the hay field, there's an entire cornfield on the opposite side of it. And it actually leads into the back ends of all these properties. So I spent some time checking, doing a reconnaissance type of thing, checking out
hmm
the woods. Now that the leaves are down and the brush is dying, I can really see in. So I had my LiDAR up and was working, finding some new spots to be able to detect when winter comes. And I don't know, I found like 6 buttons, an Indian head penny, toe tap, a couple musket balls. And then I was really excited. I thought I'd found a skeleton key, but it turns out it's just the end of it. It must have snapped, the handle snapped off, so it's got the teeth or the tooth.
hmm
But in the hole, I'm like, ooh, skeleton key. And then I pulled it and I'm like, nope, missing half of it.
uh, oh man! Wow,
It looks like we do have a question in chat for you. Deej would like to know how many people attended the event in the Netherlands.
that's a good question. Think there were supposed to be like 500, but I don't know if there were quite 500 because of the weather.
Hmm.
I can't remember exactly, but there was supposed to be like 500, but I don't think there were quite 500. It was a pretty big event.
Yeah. And I don't know. Cool. I find it cold. I mean, tonight's going to be 16 degrees, I think. Um, how
Oh,
cold
that's freezing.
how cold did it get in the Netherlands?
So, you know, me, a cold-natured
Mm-hmm.
woman, Texas hot girl, yeah, in the hot state of Texas, it's like, you know me, I love my heat.
Yep.
Um, Not that I always love detecting in the heat. It can get quite rough at times. You feel like you're having a heat stroke if it's too hot.
Yeah.
But so I would say, everything there, I'm used to Fahrenheit, Celsius, so it's always backwards. I even screenshotted. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I will tell you. So, not as cold as you would think. So 45, high was 48 degrees November 10th. So 45 there. There's another one, high 48. I think that was the day of the hunt because it says rainy. No, November 10th. But yeah.
Mid-40s. Still
Mid-40s.
a chill for you, for sure.
It's cold for me. But, I mean, to me, I guess, you know how when the wind kicks up, like where you live,
Yep.
even if it's in the 60s and then all of a sudden the wind kicks up, it gets like freezing to me.
Yep.
So for the most part, until the one day that the wind kind of kicked up for a little bit, I would say it was bearable to me because, when you're detecting and you're swinging, you're moving.
Yep.
The worst part was, I guess, the day of the actual hunt when it was raining, when we were out in the field and there was a little bit of a breeze. So I would have to say, yeah, that particular day. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it could have been colder. So I don't mind detecting in that weather as long as there's no cold wind. You know what I mean?
I do.
And
And
if
it's
there's
not,
sun's out.
and you're
not
traveling too, so it's not like, when you're
Oh,
home out detecting, you can have like the extra sock, like the bunch of extra
yes.
socks, bunch of extra gloves.
I have to say, my best purchase before I went, I ran to Academy because I found out that I'd gotten this text from Steve and Miguel, and they were like, pack your rain clothes because it's supposed to be raining the whole time you're there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So what I did is I went to Academy right before I left, and I got these Magellan rain pants. And they just slip on over your pants. So, and they have like elastic waist. And they were only like $19, and they were my absolute best
rain purchase. Huh.
Yeah. They are amazing because even when I was kneeling, because I didn't bring my knee pads or anything like that. There's more to pack. And a lot of times you're kneeling in the field where you're kneeling down in a puddle, basically. And it protected my pants. My pants never got wet. So
that's awesome.
It was amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah,
John's I highly suggest those.
Yeah, I'll have to look into those because Jon has a pair of like the Gore-Tex ones that he was issued in the service that he still wears when we go out and it's inclement. And yeah, they just go right up over the pants. And I'm like, but I tried searching for those online and I'm like, dude, I'm not paying like $300.
Oh, no. No, I think you would like these because you can just slip them right on over your pants. And I just tucked them into my boots. Of course, you wear them over your boots, but
yeah, yep.
Love. We already talked about the boots. So just absolutely love those rain pants. So Magellan was the brand. I was in the store looking, and I had thought of my frog togs because I'd already left a little early. I was flying out of Dallas, and I'm like, Oh, great. I've got to have something or I'm going to be freezing cold and miserable.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
So anyway, I ran to Academy and they were in the golfing section of all places. I looked in the hunting section, but they were in the golfing sections where they said they were, and I found them. So
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have a store called that around here, so I'll have to check online. I'll check online, see if they have them because
yeah,
it's always
just
good
look
to
up.
have rain.
Yeah, just look up Magellan
Yeah.
rain pants. And what I loved about them as well is they fold up into the pocket.
Ooh.
And so they were perfect for packing. And you just push them out of the pocket and then unfold them and then push them back in. So packing was perfect with those.
Awesome. Yeah, I was like, I think the last rain pants, I think you and I got when we were at Bone. We ran to Walmart for frog togs or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years ago. Actually, I don't know what year. 2 years
Right.
ago.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah,
Frog togs.
that frog togs is what I had. I actually had my frog togs that I'd gotten from when we filmed Beyond Oak Island. They had bought me some and gave them to me.
Oh, awesome.
But what I liked about these is they folded down, and the other ones fit over not only your pants but kind of like bibs or what do you call them? And then
Yeah,
they have these straps.
like the overall
So
bibs. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so this was way better for what I ended up doing. So, and those others, as you know, are really hard to go to the bathroom. So, these were
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. I've got the winter bibs that I will wear out, the snow pants that are overall. And you you're you're in trouble if you're outside and, and you have to go. Uh,
Oh, sorry. Cough.
yeah. So something I did not know, and I guess I should have, because it's a law in Maine, but I figured I'd bring it up here and that you all might, if you hadn't heard about it, um, you know, you'll hear it here first, I guess. But I'd heard about the purple paint laws. So the purple paint, you know how they have like no trespassing signs and whatnot? Well, certain states actually allow like purple paint markings on like fences, trees, and other areas. And it's a sign of like the keep out no trespassing without, buying the stupid no trespassing signs, worrying about them, coming down in inclement weather or wind. There's a bunch of states that actually have, the owner of the property will go out and mark their property with purple paint. And I was like, I had never heard of that before. And actually, Maine is a purple paint law state. So, a quick overview if you're listening and you did not know, but Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Maine, Missouri, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. And
Yeah.
I think there was another state or two. And then Idaho and Montana, they can have orange paint. So I was like, who else, I'm not sure. It was like one of those things like I should know. I've seen purple paint, but I knew with the borders of the property I was working. And then I saw, I wasn't obviously going to cross it. Had my line of where I was going, and I did see purple, but I thought it was like markers for. We have a lot of dirt bike racing around here, so I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was like lines for for that. Though I was like, would they know that there's a fence there? So I
Yeah.
should have realized, yeah, that's not the intended use of what I thought it was. So I'm like, ah.
Yeah. Here in Texas, most of the time when you see it, it's on trees, and when I see it, it is most commonly, of course, at the borderline. You always, of course, in Texas, I would say. more so than where you live, where, Maine, and where a lot of you